9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So often, Fritz axis tips itself at such an angle that the universe itself can collide. This happens to maybe be one of those times, as North American Harness Update is back with not a show per se, a mini show maybe, more of an extra piece of content to give to you racing fans in the sports industry of the world. Ray Catolo joined by Mike Prebosi on location at an airport undisclosed, Rod Allums Jr., maybe at an airport, probably the broom closet of one. I just ascended from whatever grease ball I have been brewing in, as we are all joined here in congregation on this holy day of our Lord to discuss Pick 5 at Rosecroft Raceway. $2,500 guarantee, or $2,500 for you laymen out there. Starting in race 7 on this Sunday program, kicks off at 4:40 p.m. First race post time at 4:40. Pick 5 goes in race 7, so it's going to be later than 4:40 p.m. The first leg of this sequence is now worth $2,500. Their last 4 starts for a purse of $5,500. You get 9 horses going postward here. One of many full fields on this evening's card over at Rosecroft Raceway. And Mike, to start up with you in this first leg, try and go heavy early, or are you going to save that money for later?
Heavy early, 4 deep in starts. The 4 Cherokee Rangers, this horse has had a kind of wide trips and had the 9-hole last time. Just pitched that line out. Was bet to 7 to 5, 2 back at the same level, and got stuck outside. Really didn't offer much late, but did win 7 times last year. Draws well. He could be interesting with a little bit of a trip. Tom's Titan, the 5, third back, improved last time, and draws well. Should be better, I would think. The 6, Tom's Typhoon, another one, third back, improved last time, finished 3rd at this level, and lost to spin out, 1 bad shot. Those are probably better than these horses here. Wagner's, he sticks. I would expect this horse should race pretty well. And then the 8, Tom's Tarzan, drops from numbers at 4,000. Had the 8-hole in that race. Also was the favorite, but got a little tired late after a 26-4, 57.5. I would expect this horse will be out early and, should be live late. So 4, 5, 6, 8 start.
And for those watching at home, Mike, in fact, only has the bottom half of a face. His eyes are not meant to be seen by the public. Rod, however, has similar eyes. That once he takes those shades off, you don't only turn to stone, but I also believe all of your insides excavate, and you become an external species of some kind. But Rod, just please don't make me talk anymore and talk about this first leg of the Pick 5, because I don't know what you see. I don't know if you see anything at all. I don't know if you even have vision or eyeballs.
I do have vision, but this race in particular was pretty tough for me. I'm 4 deep here, starting with the 3 Beckett Hanover. Has early speed, will be using that early speed, and could end up getting a nice 2-hole trip here. Look at that line, 2 back. He cut the mile and just got tired on the end of it. I think maybe if he gets a 2-hole trip, he should be right there once again against similar that he's been very close against in 4 of his last 5. The 6, Tom's Typhoon. I really don't have any more to add than what Mike already said. It's John Wagner, who's been doing pretty well, and Arlene Cameron. This combo's doing well at this meet thus far, so I think this one is a use off the 3rd start off the layoff. The 7, No Concert. Jason Thompson, the Jet, jumps on, and I think maybe if he is a little more aggressive with this horse, he should get him into play. Horse is quick enough, and he's got the final panels to be able to go with these throughout. And then the 8, Tom's Tarzan. A lot of Tom's horses in this race. He's got some early speed, and Russ Foster from the outside, I think he's going to fire. He got used very hard early last time, and just got a little bit tired late. I think maybe if he gets softer fractions up front, or even gets a hole somewhere, to sit early on. He should be close late as well, but he's likely going to get bet pretty heavy here. So I'm 3, 6, 7, 8.
There's a Tom for every kind here at Rosecroft. I don't use any, well, I use one of the Toms. I do use Tom's Tarzan to the far outside on the class drop. Kind of detrimental that he has the outside draw again, but if he uses that gate speed, is shown in his last 3 starts, that shouldn't really be too much of an issue, and hopefully because he's making that drop in class, the fact that he can't really kick home too well might compensate a touch against this weaker group. Maybe. It's all theoretical, and I express that by the fact that my hands go, I don't know. But I also use the 3 Beckett hand over to the inside, another one dropping back down to this level, and returning to the races on February 6th at this competition from post 3, got to the lead, stayed on the lead, kind of held the lead, but then lost the lead in the stretch. Still kicked home in 29-4, giving chase to Little Power and James Riverside starting to his left flank. In the next start, moved up in class, just kind of rode the rail, clearly was in way too tough, so perhaps on the move back down in class, Bunny, out of Bunny Lake, really good pedigree, I just realized, for this. Now there's a $2,500 horse. To the end, he placed up close, maybe is better on the move back down, makes his 3rd start. Positive angles that way. I am only 3-8. Well, I'm actually 6 foot even, but 3-8 for me here in the first leg of this pick 5. We move on to the second leg, race number 8, because it's race number 7, the start of the pick 5. It's an hours of 6,000 in their last 4 starts. We got no for this time, and Mike, once more, you're taking 4.
Yeah, 4 deep for Alex Finale. Circle racing. The winner's over 6,000. 2 and 3 back trips fit here. Last time really had no chance. Was too far back. Still kicked 27-1. I'm okay with that, especially with this post draw. If forwardly placed, I think in the mix. The 5 sentencing memo was racing well at Dover, numbers of 65, 85. Taking wide trips there, those are tough to overcome. I think that you should find these a little bit easier. The 6 Buck Hanover, another Dover horse that's been racing in upper claimers and difficult races. Really not as in form as the 5 necessarily, but that race at Rosecroft on February 10th was in the open and was solid enough in that spot. So this is a little bit easier than that. And then the 7. Mr. Indiana was racing 17-5 at Dover, had outside post there, is kicking home in 27-2, 27-4. If they go early, that could set it up for this one late. So 4, 5, 6, 7.
Rod, it's pretty deep race to Mike, but are you gonna dig a hole?
I'm staying on the inner half of the gate here. I'm 3 deep, starting with the 2, sort of the spirit. His last 2, 2nd and a 3rd. He gets an inside draw this time. He's had 3 outside draws in a row, and 2 and 3 back he was at the Meadowlands racing against some decent horses there, and he came to Rosecroft, missed 3 weeks in between starts, and just got beat a neck against similar last time. So I think he's a use from the inside, and Eddie Davis Jr. jumps on. The 3 Alice Hammered, I thought, is the obvious horse here. Last week I watched him. He had no way to possibly win that race from where he was at. He got shuffled toward the back and never shook loose basically the whole way. That's not his trip. He's a horse that likes to be in the mix and out and moving. I think he's going to be able to do that tonight, and he gets to retain his driver. And then the 4 Alley's Finale, like Mike said, 27-1 kicker last time was solid. I like the form. He's going to be closer, and Roger Plant stays on the drive. So that's the double-ended sword there. So 2, 3, 4 for me.
In case anyone was wondering, it says here in the program that Rosecroft is open for thoroughbred, harness, and quarter horse simulcast 363 days a year. Figured I'd throw it out there because it's part of the Snar's $6,000 condition. I'm 3 deep, nonetheless, here in the second leg. Sort of the spirit. I use an interesting angle. Okay, so trainer Luis Nunez had a horse race in the Meadowlands last night, Frankie Boy, who actually ended up winning at odds at 33-1. And so potentially this horse who's been coming in off of 2 decent miles, most recently shipping into Rosecroft and finishing second, could potentially be part of a barn upswing in some, we call it hot hands, so to speak, terms, other terminologies, and how we describe that. So sort of the could be coming in on a hot note, does move up in class off the second place finish, not like moving up in class off a win, but the horse seems sharp, draws well, can get off the gate well, can do a lot of things well that will probably work out well for him in the long run. Finale's the second horse I used. This one just kind of rode the rail the entire way against better last out. Then ended up gaining ground and finished 7th, coming in 27-1. He seems to race better at this level. Back in the numbers 6,000, 4,000 levels, so returning to that should probably wake him up. And then I also throw on Mr. Indiana, who drops the claiming tag of 17.5 to go for non-winners of 6. This one raced really well over at Dover in the past, able to close ground well and just kind of make up, recoup, etc., etc. But now on the class drop, should maybe wake up a touch on the ship too, because Dover shippers have been doing fairly decently at the meet so far. 2-4-6 for me in the second leg. Third leg, the 9th race. Now it's a 2,500 their last 4 starts. We got 9 more going postward. Mike, you're starting to narrow it down.
Got too deep there. The 7 Talking Blues. I'd raced okay now. It was a 2,500. Last time from the 8 hole, just really couldn't reach for that wide trip. Prior to that, was in hours of 4,000 and finished 3rd. This horse fits from a class standpoint, I think, and probably will be bet again. And then the 9 Tom's Tornado. Drops now with a 4,000, was wide last time, made the lead at the top of the stretch, and then just got tired. He's 0 for 8 this year, but this is probably the easiest field that he's faced so far. I'm hoping that Foster will be aggressive away from the gate, and if he gets to an early spot, I think it'll be tough. So 7-9.
Rod, is it as easy as 7-9?
No, I don't use either one of them.
Great.
I'm going.
You're going to lose them.
No, I'm not. The 2 Varsity Hanover gets a better draw, had the 9 hole last time, came up with cover, flipped 3 deep down the backside, just got beat, finished 2nd there. The horse raced very well. I think is coming into top form right now, as you can see with the last 2 starts with Justin Vincent driving. This one has been improving each week. I think you're going to see a top effort here, even on the slight class jump where he raced 2 back and raced well there. The 4 Bad Man Sam, he's versatile, but he's been coming from off the pace recently. If he leaves, I think that's his best game. He likes to be up close, and he gets a class drop here. I like this spot for him. Just needs to get involved early. There's no early speed in this race inside of him, so I think he's got to go. And if he does, he's got a big shot to win this race. And then the 5, Bevan Linda's Sun Nap, one of the worst names I've ever seen. Roger Plant, and that's a big key for me. His last 2 efforts in this class level, he was 2nd by 3/4, and he won. That was 5 starts back, and I think if he's out and rolling, he's got to be in the mix no matter what. He's been aggressive when he's in this class level, so I think Roger Plant will have him involved. 2, 4, 5.
You think Bevan Linda's Sun Nap's a bad name? I once saw a horse named Sphincter Surprise. I single Varsity Hanover in this 9th race. Probably explain why. Okay, so I don't really like most of the horses in this race. This number's a 2,500. Sure, to the far outside, you have Tom's Tornado moving down in class. But the outside post could be enough to place this horse not necessarily out of contention, just to not put him in the correct spot he needs to be in order to win. That said, the 2 Varsity Hanover gets a post switch from 9 to 2. When dropping down to the numbers at 12.5 level, he put himself into the mix to be somewhat towards the middle of the pack, rode that cover as Rod said, and then came home very well to finish 2nd by a quarter length, almost winning the race. Kind of hanging a touch, but still gaining ground. And this is he's one of the few horses in this race that can actually kick home in like sub 29. Sure, you have Blue Fox being able to do it, but he's usually too far off the pace. And aside from that, most of this field can't really close home too well. So Varsity Hanover, with that inside draw, could use that tactical speed to be placed into contention once more. And if he's closer to the pace this time around, then he should probably be able to hit the wire first. And that is a win by definition. Varsity Hanover is a single. Nothing else to be said. 10th race, so winners over 5,000. Their last 4 or 50,000 lifetime handicap. So these are horses that are handicapped in some way. 9 going postward. Mike, once again, you're narrowing it down.
Yeah, with the 8 Deacons Valley, this horse showed up last time, racing those 17.5 claimers at Dover, and just dominated at 1 to 9 at this level. And I would expect a similar sort of race from this horse, especially if he gets out early. The only other horse I could see in the race, which I didn't use just for cost purposes, would be the 6, who was racing at upper levels at Dover and racing well. He's pretty much the only danger. I'm going to keep the 8.
Do we all single Deacons Valley?
No, I'm using the 6 as well for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But not bandwagon.
6 and 8 for me.
I'm singling Deacons Valley. Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am. Seems to close more than to be up close, if you catch my drift. Deacons Valley is probably going to lead, and then just lead them until the wire comes and everyone else is just playing catch up. So it's kind of just like a logistical thing for me in why Deacons Valley is going to destroy them. So the final leg of the Big 5 is the 11th, the $5,000 claimer, with 9 more horses going postward. Of those 9, Mikey, what numbers do you have?
3 deep to finish. The 2 Mr. Big Bucks was stuck in a crazy early part of that 5 claimer on the 24th. I did watch that race, and the race did fall apart. He took the worst of it there. Draws inside. Should be a little bit better than that 3 to 5 he was last time. The 3 Crocodile Rock crushed a 4 claimer off the claim, and gets a little bump up, but really needs used off that blowout. I think that especially off this draw, and then the 8 Turtle Gone Wild is third back. Drops into a claimer out of numbers of 25. Those are better. This horse is off form, but this level kind of is a great equalizer and gets Foster in the bike. 2, 3, 8.
Rod, do those numbers sound good to you?
No, I'm singled here. The 4 Hide Me Away was parked every step last week. He left, got hung, and never saw the cone. So he only got beat a length there, whereas the 2 got beat 3 lengths and finished 4th behind this horse. I think
the 2 did move in the race, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see using the 2. I have no issue with that. But for me, the 4 is the single. I love his form. I loved that race last week, and he's been first up 3 of his last 4 starts. So, he just needs a trip, and he can win.
Hide Me Away entered into that race off a similar blowout as the 3 Crocodile Rock does into this one. The only difference is Crocodile Rock's making his second start off the claim. And the fact that he was that good first start off the claim means he could probably be just as good second start off. So he's an obvious use for me. As for Hide Me Away, if he just doesn't do that thing where he tries to travel longer than a mile when the race is a mile long, because you know how circles work. If you travel wider of the inside of the circumference, you're actually traveling a longer distance than necessary. Really inefficient in long term. So if Hide Me Away can work out a little more conservative trip, which he could certainly do, moving from post 8 to post 4, then I think he could also be a winner in my book. I'm 3-4 in the final leg of the Pick 5, which makes my ticket go as follows for 50 cents. I'm 3-8 with 2-4-7, with 2, with 8, with 3-4, amassing to a whopping $6 play. Mike, your ticket.
4, 5, 6, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 9, with 8, 2, 3, 8, it's 48.
And Rod.
3, 6, 7, 8 with 2, 3, 4 with 2, 4, 5 with 6, 8 with 4. It's $36.
Now, before we say sayonara, go get the creme brulee on the stove. Well, let's
wait. Russ has a ticket too, which is posted on NAHUpicks.com. Russ's ticket.
Yeah, so if you go on.
Russ's ticket is 6 with 1, 3, 5 with 2, 3, 4, 9 with 8 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. It's $30.
And that's over at www.nahupicks.com. That's www. Do I really need to spell it out for you? It's NAHUpicks.com. Before we say to everyone, go let your kids out of the cage, we have to divert our attention to Pompano Park, the good old PPK in the track abbreviation log of track abbreviations. Is their 12th race tonight. Tonight being Sunday, March 3rd of the year of our Lord 2019. features a mandatory super high five payout with a carryover of $159,668, maybe to the cent. There might be like 7 cents involved with that carryover. Probably more important for tax purposes, but we got 10 horses going poster in this race, and there's a monkey wrench from post 7 with Prairie Panther making his second start of the season. On debut, started in the Open 1 handicap, where he finished 7th by 3.5 lengths, 152 and 2, coming with 27 and 4. Now, with less than $1,400 earned, he drops into a non-winners of $1,600. It's the equivalent of if I had an anvil and I walked up to the 5th story of my house and I dropped that anvil to the ground, and then what it does is it goes deeper into the ground upon impact. That is the magnitude of the class drop Prairie Panthers making into this high 5 mandatory payout. So I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement that he wins the race.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't win the race. He's going to be 1-9 probably.
Yeah.
I'm no clock. However, I do have a clock right here, and by my clock right here, which is a Santa Anita Park antique clock, I can only kind of estimate that the fact the 7 Prairie Panther is faster than the rest of these horses, that he should win. Am I right, Clocky? I'm right. Fantastic. So the real mystery of this sequence is finding which horses fit underneath, because someone's got to finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And when you look at the program, you're thinking to yourself, oh no, someone's got to finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Mike, to start off with your ticket, you definitely, you're going to start big for 2nd, and then you're just going to kind of spread with each position.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's worth taking a little bit of shot in this ticket, because even though you have a very likely winner, that there could be some value underneath. You're dealing with a negative situation where you have an advantage eliminating the takeout, and I still think you have a positive player expectation. So I like 4 deep in the 2 to finish 2nd. I think the 2 is a chance dropping. This horse had burned a little bit of money since coming back, but does like this racetrack, has a mark of 50 and 1 as a 4-year-old. Now, that was a while ago, but the horse probably should still, with this inside draw, be very close to it. The 6, I think, is interesting. Another one that's dropping. Gets caught 0 on the bike. That's right, Rod Kobe. The 8, Modern Reflections. He's an obvious horse, but he's been not finishing miles. Those are 2 fast races he's coming out of. And then the 9, B-Power. Yeah, this horse has raced 2 very decent races in a row. Finished 2nd, 2 back from off the pace, and then last time from the 8 hole, sat and kicked home 29 to win. I feel like that horse has the chance to be 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. I'll use those, and then I'll include the 3 in the 3rd and 4th spots. He's going to be a price. He draws well. That race off the 6 scratch last time was poor, but 3, January 30th line is decent, and that with his odds, I think that you can use that one, and then I'll just use them all in the last leg and hope for a little bit of chaos behind. For a $57 ticket. So I was 7 with 2, 6, 8, 9, using the 3 with those 4 horses in the 3rd and 4th spots, and then all in the last.
Now, Ron, I figure you're assembling your tickets somewhat the similar style, but what horses to you are key to use underneath?
I agree on the 2. I think he's got to be used in the 2 spot with the inside draw. He's a horse that has early speed and should stay close the entire way. I also use the 4, A Cowboy. He missed a couple weeks between his last 2 starts, and his last start was very good. Sat the 2 hole, almost got there late, and if he can get another trip up close, he likes to leave. He likes to stay in the mix, but he doesn't really leave the rail. So he is a trip horse, but if he can get out and get close, I think he's got a shot to hit underneath as well. The 6 is obvious. Majek.
Kobe!
Gotta have him. He's probably the best price play in the race. So I throw him on for second as well. And then I'll use the 8 Modern Reflection in the third spot with those horses. And then I think I'm going to throw the 5 on in the fourth spot, Lose Maverick, just because he might be able to get a nice trip here with Matt Kruger. He doesn't really show gate speed since coming down to Pompano, so he's going to be ducking and looking to follow some cover. He's going to need some fractions up front, but this is another one that is a good price play to throw on underneath in your high 5 bet. And then, as always, hit the all button for 5th.
I don't necessarily hit the all button for 5th, but that's because I have college loans to pay. So gambling is probably in my best interest, especially in this race, because it's for $160,000. Now, I've played Wheel of Fortune 1 or 2 times, and I know that's a lot of money. For me, I use 3 horses for the second spot. The One Glory Beach gets a post switch, last out from post 8, launched towards the top, then yielded for a pocket spot, just kind of sucked along the rest of the way to finish 5th there. Not necessarily the greatest looking race. However, 2 starts back, raced a little bit better off of a more conservative trip where he didn't necessarily use himself up too early in the race, waited to make his move until later in the mile to at least get second. Maybe from that inside spot, sure, he's moving up in class, but he might just be in the right position to maybe work out a second place spot. Cowboy, I agree with Rod on that one. He's making a second start off a 6 scratch. That's always positive. And the fact that he raced so well at first asking makes me not really worry that he's making this slight step up into his second start. He can definitely hit the ticket in that respect. And Majak Kobe, maybe, please soundboard blow up. But Majak Kobe makes his 4th start off a layoff. He doesn't necessarily draw too well. He gets a similar spot that he had last out, but he does make a bit of a drop in class. That could be enough for this guy who's probably just going to be trying to ride cover in order to get into the mix late. For 3rd, I throw on Modern Reflection. He's one that's probably going to leave the gate and be in one of those striking spots towards the top, or at the very least, towards the top. And when he's just decided to stop racing, could hit the wire in one of those minor spots. For 4th and 5th, I throw on the 3, Ménage à Trois, second start off a 6 scratch. Before that was racing decently at levels similar to this and could potentially be up close at a price. I also throw on Drake and Hanover. My concern with this one is if he's tracking a semi-fast pace, he tends to just quit into not a second or a third, but more of those other payout spots for those other check cashing positions. And that doesn't necessarily bode too well for him here if he gets into a similar spot there. So I'll throw him on for 4th and 5th, as well as that's the rest of them. So I go 7 with 1, 4, 6 with 1, 4, 6, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 for 4th and 5th to make it a 2160 investment. All that said, all that done, that does it for this extra of North American Harness Update. We're going to have a show next Friday, being the 8th, March 8th. We're back with another live show on the internet, Fridays from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, soon to be Eastern Daylight Time, when the sun finally decides to bestow an extra hour. Wait, no, spring forward. He's going to take an hour. Bastard! After that, not really much after that. More so, join us next week, Friday, 9 p.m. Go NAHUpicks.com. You can find racing analysis every race day from tracks, including, at this point, not limited to, which means racetracks. If you want some extra coverage, hey, we take cashier's checks, PayPal, Venmo. We take all sorts of payments. Human sacrifice, we're kind of working on right now, converting that into USD. Every race day, you can find analysis for Woodbine Mohawk Park, the Raceway Western Fair District, Meadowlands Racetrack, Rosecroft Raceway. That's all over at NAHUpicks.com. I've been Rick Catola. They're Mike Ribozzi, Rod Allens Jr. We hope to see you next Friday, March 8th, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Internet Land. But for now, a man in all black gave me this flash drive that I can only assume holds the secrets to the universe. So I'm going to go handle this. But